Today I plan to walk through an application in a live presentation, and time permitting, I'll be doing an exemption application as well. But first, I wanted to talk about Tier 1 applications and what is open. Currently, Tier 1 applications that are open are the Early Adopter Incentive Program, the Early Compliance for all cohorts, and then the exemption only for the greater than 220,000 square feet buildings, which opened on June 1st, 2023. Since they opened 3 years prior to the compliance deadline, over 90,000 will be open this June 2024, and then over 50,000 will be open on June 1st, 2025. A qualified person is required for Tier 1 compliance to both start and submit the application. The exception to this is exemption applications, which building owners may submit. They do not have to hire a qualified person to do so. So this is a table of application forms and an overview of the forms that are required for the compliance path that you choose for your building. So exemption here is on the left-hand side, and a list of the forms that are required. The footnotes note that some of these forms are built into the portal, like Michael just showed with Form B and Form C, and Form A is the submit button, which I'll demonstrate. And then investment criteria with and without the measurable EUI. So to get to this table and to have more information, I wanted to note, here I am on the buildings landing page. Like Michael pointed out, there's buildings, applications, and forms. If you click on the forms, it takes you to the guidance document for compliance forms, and you can see this table as well as more information for your benefit. So here I am on the buildings page. I want to talk a little bit about this. You can see I am signed in as qualified person. And this green bar, like KJ and Michael mentioned, is in the working test environment. In the production portal, this bar will not be green. To move to the applications screen, you click on the applications link. And to start an application, you open the drop down. The incentive applications here we're not covering today. Data verification, which we no longer use. Here's Form H exemption, and then we're going to start out with the early compliance application. Start an application, you click the new application button, and it takes you to the compliance path screen. Here you can see the breadcrumbs in this gray bar. We'll walk you through the application process, and you can move forward, save your information, and move forward by either clicking on the breadcrumbs or the continue button at the bottom. Today I'll use the continue button, but you can maneuver around with the breadcrumbs. So for this, excuse me, for this demonstration, I'm going to choose meeting the EUIT and click the continue button to move forward. Now you can see the list of buildings in which Tab Taverson, the owner, has shared with me as the qualified person, and I can select my building. You can see also that the commerce-friendly building name is helpful in this regard to note which building is which. And we're working on Whatcom 599 today, so I'm going to select that building and click continue. The main point I want to make on this screen is the building details. The information that Michael or Tab Taverson, the owner, entered is pulled forward, and you can see it here. You, as the qualified person, you are certifying that everything is accurate, and check. You can make changes here, and it does reconcile in the building section. So you can add information and make corrections. But since everything is correct, I'm going to move forward and hit the continue button, which takes me to Form B. Here you verify the square footage. You can look at the, or if the building owner hasn't entered, you can also enter the information here, which reacts just the way that it does in buildings. Check for square footages, the shift normalization, say for the the banking hours actually is 40-hour work week. You want to change that, you can then see that the target will recalculate. So that once we've verified that everything is correct and changes have made, hit continue to move on. And you can see that this also autofills with the information. If it had not been filled out on the building details page or in the building section, you could enter it here, confirm that the start month and the start year is correct. And like Michael showed, you can also change it here and get your use intensity. All the meters that you've shared with the API show up here, and hit continue to move to the next screen, which is attachments. Attachments are noted when required with a asterisk, and depending on the compliance path that you choose, the asterisks do change. For the EUIT path that I chose, the Energy Management Plan, EMP reporting tool, O&M, and O&M reporting tool are all required. So to attach EMP, choose a title. There's also a notes field if you want to leave notes to your team members and collaborators, or Commerce Review team. These notes, EMP page 5 is very important, or 4 is very important. And then to browse to choose the right document. Okay, I am not signed in. Excuse me one moment. And try that again. Live presentation, things will happen. So I'm attaching my EMP document flawlessly, and then you can add attachment. I'm going to do 3 of the 4 to show what the validation notes are here if you're available, but are not required if you don't want to, if there's no notes to make. And then add attachment. And as I'm adding them, you can see that they're showing up down below. The operations and maintenance program is required. You also have the ability to add attachment. You also have the ability to delete these if you make an update and you want to delete it and then reattach it. That's available to you as well. So I'm going to hit continue to move to the next screen. Oh, and those attachments are, I meant to say, specific to the application. They are not attached in the building, so they're attached to the application, as well as the notes here are specific to the application. So if you wanted to say commerce, please review page 5 of EMP. I know I said 4 on the other page, but you can make a note to the commerce reviewers or your collaborators as you're working through the application. Hit continue to move to the next screen, and it brings you to the contact information. Because Taverson has shared access with Quali Qualified, I am on the drop-down list. Any person who is in the portal and has an account needs to have shared access to be able to show up on this drop-down list. Or if there's somebody that is not going to be interactive with the portal, like Fred Green, you can just create a new contact to give the contact information with this button. So I am going to say Taverson is the building owner. Quali Qualified is the qualified person, and each of the required fields is again noted with the asterisk here. And Energy Manager is the Energy Manager. This information down below is auto-filled from my portal account, and it is for the person who is starting and submitting the application and will be auto-filled. So then to hit continue to move to the next screen, which is Form A Submit. This is a summary screen for you to be able to check that all the information is complete and accurate. The compliance path we chose was meeting the EUIT. Here's the building details information, the Form B target calculation, the Form C API data draw from Energy Star Portfolio Manager, which gives us the EUI and the weather normalized EUI in compliance with the target, the notes that you made to the commerce reviewers, and the attachments. Here's the validation. Please review and complete the entry of all required attachments. I missed the O&M reporting tool, and it shows up as a grayed out bar. So it tells me what I missed. And to navigate back to the attachment screen, I can hit attachments and note the O&M checklist. Use my file from my screen. And add attachment. Then I could click continue, which would take me to notes, or jump back to the Form A Submit and continue my verification of all information. This validation is gone now because I have all 4 required documents. And the attestations will always have this validation because this is the place to fill out the attestation. So we're asking the questions that are on Form A. Yes, energy management. Yes, O&M. It was an EUIT process, so I did not have to have the Form D or Form F, so that's an NA for me. Energy measurement measures have been installed, yes, and I did not need to because I met the target. Then confirm the contact information is correct, building owner and qualified person, and their credentials, and then the energy manager and my contact information. Once you've filled all the and confirmed everything is accurate and complete, you can click the We Certify statement, and the submit button should become available, and then submitting your application resolves the screen into a confirmation with a submittal ID number and date and time stamp. It also lets you know that Commerce anticipates starting your review in 30 business days, and that you'll also receive an email confirmation, which looks like this. This is a PDF that early compliance with the time and date stamp and all the information on your, just like that Form A information. So now if I click back on the application screen, you can see the application here has been submitted by me, and you can track your application to watch it through the process if Commerce needs more information, and it'll show up here. So I want to ask how we're doing on time, if I have time for an exemption application.
Yeah, I think we have time. That's 5 minutes, right? Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, 5 minutes, a quick exemption application to show the similarities and the differences. Again, I'm on that application screen, and we'll start an exemption application. Start new application. Takes you to the building, select a building screen, and from there, I'm choosing this 598. Hit the continue button. And this shows the reasons for exemptions. For more information on exemptions, check the document library. There's a guidance document for each one of them so that you can know if you qualify for an exemption. As you click the reasons, so if I do the unconditioned, you can see fields pop up at the bottom to fill out more information. Click all that apply, because if one reason is not approved, potentially another one might be. So you want to do your complete application. I'm just going to do manufacturing. This is a manufacturing process, and say 32 is manufacturing. Right now I don't meet the criteria, but if I click off, then because there's only 30,000 square feet that's conditioned, it does not meet the tier 1 rules, and I meet the criteria. Before I move on, yeah, that was everything I wanted to say. Continue to move on. For the attachment screen, it's a little different as well. There, in the drop-down, there's no asterisks because none of these documents are specifically required. What you need is a minimum of 2 documents for the exemption to support why it's an exemption. And so for this sample project, it's a manufacturing. So I'm going to do municipal county records and do a site plan or construction permitted plans to show the occupancy and the associated square footage. I'm attaching that. And I'm adding that document. And then I need one more document. So I'm going to do my certificate of occupancy, which also shows the square footage and use and occupancy. So now that I've got my 2, I need to add attachment. Now that I've got my 2 documents, I can hit continue. Notes is going to be the same. It's a note field for you to give us, say, potentially on the site plan. I've got the square footage, and that's where you would want to focus our attention and why you're attaching that document. You could put it here for us. Hit continue. Takes you to the contact information. This is the same as well, except that a qualified person is not required. So the building owner can do this application on their own. But I'm going to go ahead and fill out all of the people that I have for this. And hit continue. And then again, this is Form H, submit. This is a summary page similar to Form A, which gives you all of the information that you put in, the total GFA, the exemption reasons, and how much is manufacturing and how much is conditioned space, your 2 attachments, and then checking to make sure you've got your contact information correct. You recertify to note that all the information is true and accurate, and then hit submit to submit your exemption application. And again, it will time, date, stamp, auto confirm that we've received it, and then send you a Form H exemption application summary of all the information that you've input. And from here, you can click the applications screen and track your application.